Good morning, I am Alejandro Rodriguez, and let's talk about philosophy. To begin, what is philosophy? Philosophy is a word that comes from the Greek roots, which means love of wisdom. Philosophy is one that makes us reflect on things in daily life, where we use logical and methodical reasoning, where issues such as the existence, truth, ethics based on science, the characteristics and causes and effects of natural things are touched like human beings in the universe. A lot of more things. Let's start with metaphysics.
What is metaphysics? Etymologically, the word comes from the late Greek, which means beyond physics. In this branch of philosophy, topics such as being, God, the world, the soul is dealt with. In this philosophy, many philosophers such as Plato and Aristotle stand out. Plato has a theory that was called theory of forms. Plato said that there were two types of worlds, the one formed and the sensible. To explain this, it took place in an allegory that he called the allegory of the cave. This is an allegory about the reality of our knowledge, where it explains that beings, we humans, are like those slaves who are locked in the cavern and who only know this reality as if they were shadows that are projected on the wall of the cavern, and that the prisoner who comes out of the cavern is the one who can only see the reality. Aristotle was the most famous disciple of Plato. For Aristotle, metaphysics means the first philosophy, since for him this is the branch that speaks of the principle and the causes of everything that exists and of being in general. For Aristotle, substance and essence come together. He said that there's no ideal world of forms, only the physical world. What I think about metaphysics is that it seems interesting to me how the different philosophers who approach this topic were creating and developing different theories. One of the philosophers with whom I most agreed was with Aristotle, since he had the thought that everything could change or has the potential to do so. So, which is why I like that idea more. What is ethics? This branch of philosophy studies the things that we consider valuable. It involves both ethics and aesthetics, where issues such as human behavior are taken. Also understand concepts to be able to define what is good or what is bad. This type of philosophy can also be called moral ethics. An example of this is the behavior that people usually have depending on the situation in which we find ourselves. For example, we act or decide things impulsively for pleasure or desire. Some examples of this are when we decide whether to return something lost, or even when we must tell the truth or not cheat. In this branch of philosophy, there are several philosophers who gave their ideas. Some examples of those philosophers are Plato and Kant, which have ideas that are related in a certain way. In the case of Plato, he said that according to his theory of the three souls, people must make or take decisions with the brain, which will take place in the rational part of the three souls. On the other hand, Kant said that decisions must be made depending on the reason and not by desires. What do I think about ethics? In this branch, there were too many philosophers giving their theories, but in my case, I agreed with the aforementioned, since for some time I always try to make or take decisions logically and always depending on the reason. That's why the two philosophers mentioned, they were the most important for me. What is epistemology? Epistemology is another branch of philosophy. It deals with the study of knowledge in terms of its nature and extent. There is a concept which is truth. This means the agreement between a statement and the facts or reality. This type of statement is usually used by Aristotle. As in the previous branches, there are many philosophers who give their theories depending on what is being treated. In this case, one of them is Aristotle, where he says that all humans are born a blank slate. He said that we all learn through experience. Later, he loved a model based on the theory, which had a total of 10 of them. As always, in the case of Plato, he refers to the soul, where he says that once the soul exists in reality but was trapped in the body, stating that once he knew everything but forgot it. He said that we are born with all knowledge, but that the discovery of it depends on us. There is a thought which has been dominating philosophy, we call Western thought, but that is not the only way of thinking. There is the epistemology of the thought, which means the claim of new process of production and valuation of valid scientific and non-scientific knowledge, and new relationships between different types of knowledge. What I think about epistemology, I don't have a fixed opinion or position about this branch of philosophy, since I still do not understand as such what it tries to make us understand. For me, this is one of the most complicated branches to understand. What means aesthetics? Aesthetics is the philosophical study of beauty and taste. It includes the philosophy of art and evokes nature, interpretation, and value. Beauty is known in aesthetics as that order and symmetry. It is the union of opposites and the capacity to adapt. A philosopher who gives his opinion about it is Kant, where he defines the beautiful as the representation that produce an immediate pleasure and free of any theoretical or moral consideration. The counterpart of beauty is the ugly, which we can call grotesque. The grotesque is that which distorts, exaggerates, and crosses borders, whether physical, psychological, or of any other kind. The grotesque can be combined with the funny and the terrifying. What is art? On the other hand, there is something called art. Art seeks the harmony of the beautiful and what is pleasing to the sense, such as the perfect, proportionate, and harmonious. Hence the problem of tragedy, the fictional paradox, and more. In my case, I think that art is one of the best ways to make us escape from reality, since thanks to it we can feel emotions and feelings. That even if it seems bad at first, it is actually good. I like it a lot as a small thing or, or things can make us feel different ways. That's why I really like the fictional paradox.
Conclude. Um, I think that all the branches that philosophy includes are really interesting, since many philosophers were born from them that today are quite remembered. And each of these branches always leads us to think, and also at the beginning everything seems really difficult to understanding and once you understand it, it becomes very easy to understand the other's theories of the philosophy. And in my case, some of them I still don't understand at all, but I don't ever hope to understand them. Well, that's all. And I hope you like my presentation. And thank you very much.